Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Minecraft survival world. Today we're going to be giving you guys a full world tour of everything that is in my world since we created the world about a year and a half ago up until now. Make sure you guys don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy this world tour, and let's get right into it. So a couple things before we get started. This world is a year and a half old. I created it on December 22nd, 2020. So we're getting close to 2 years in a few months now. And yeah, this entire world has been live streamed fully on YouTube, so if you want to see absolutely anything and everything being built, it is still available on this playlist on my YouTube channel. Alrighty, to go ahead and get us started, we're going to be looking at some of our first starter builds that we built very early on in the world when we scouted out this bit of landscape and thought that this is where we would build our nice big castle. So as you can see, this land, we've got some water here with the sun setting right in front of the castle. That was kind of one of the main selling points of why I picked this area. And yeah, here's my day one starter house. So as you can see, it's pretty small, pretty simple, but honestly it turned out very convenient with, with all the chests all next to each other, so that crafting was extremely easy. I lived in this house until the entire castle was fully done, so ultimately it's a very nice house, very nice. We also got our Nether Portal right to the side here. We made a little bit of an Adult Swim tribute when that kind of trend was going around on TikTok and whatnot. So I decided to upgrade my Nether Portal from my standard little one and get something a little nicer. Over here we have the 4 seed pods where I plant, grow, and chop down all of the large spruce trees. That is how I get all my spruce wood for my builds in my castle and whatnot. For that giant roof overhang as well as the corner cones on top of the towers. Over here is my stone farm that I fully designed and developed myself. I needed a much faster way to get stone rather than just digging it out of the earth, so I took it upon myself and spent some time in Creative World, designed this absolute beast of a machine that produces about 6 stacks of stone a minute with obviously full efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe with haste 2 beacon. So we love that machine, it's been very good to me. Over here we've got a couple more things that were built very early on in the world. This is a old strip mine back when that used to be something that was actually relevant and able to be used. Over here is where we used to have our enchantment table that has now been moved into the castle, as well as just some simple potato farm for some food early on and some villager dealings as well. Now heading into this building over here, this is the entrance that goes down to my villagers. So as you can see, we got a nice little building up here with a bunch of emeralds, and then when we get down here we can see that this is where all of the villager magic happens. So essentially we've just got a big room with a bunch of villagers and then one of the infection chambers in the middle, where basically you infect and cure a villager over and over again, and the villagers surrounding him will make their trades cheaper because they realize that, you saved their friend from being a zombie. So yeah. And then down here we just got some farmers. The farmers are a little bit newer, but the librarians have been there for quite a while, so we have very good business deals with them and we are in good relations. Okay, so moving on into the inside of the castle walls. As you can see, we have a little bit of room in between the castle walls and the castle keep, with a little bit of a area going all the way around. And we got a couple of different buildings and different things dotted around. We got an early on sheep farm, which I still have here, for some red wool that was needed for the castle. Here's one of these buildings that are on the outside. This one is dedicated to the allays, when I had to go ahead and travel quite far to find me some allays. These were actually a very, very nice update to the game. I actually think the allays are really, really cool, so I'm still trying to find like a really good use for them, but I think, they are something that is something that can create a lot of possibilities. So going ahead and moving on to the inside of the castle keep here, we can see that we got 6 rooms here on the first floor of the castle keep. Some of these rooms you're gonna notice have more functionality than others, as I did build them in order from when I started the world. So first room on the right here, just bulk storage. Those are for when I have more than like a single chest of the same block and I need to store them somewhere that's not my regular storage. Over here we got a library with my enchantment table in the back there. A little bit of an auditorium, although it might look more kind of like a church setting, but that wasn't necessarily intentional. Over here we got a Starbucks for all your, white girl things. And yeah, a couple rooms over here, not really used that much at all. Over here we got a super long dining table. I feel like every castle kind of has to have that. Just that like really long dining table with the throne at the end. I don't know what I was thinking, but I haven't touched that room since I built it, so you know, I guess that makes sense. Over here we got a little bit of a trophy room. I thought this would be a little bit cooler, but all we got in here is just a dragon egg, elytra, and you know, some dragon heads and whatnot. And now we enter one of the what used to be one of the most useful rooms in the castle. So this is where I did my potato XP farm, smelting method. And as you can see by my levels, this XP method used to be very good. Essentially how it worked is that you would just smelt thousands upon thousands of potatoes into each furnace, and then you would lock the output, and you would manually take one potato out that just got smelted, and you would get all the XP that got compounded up over those thousands of potatoes, and you could keep doing it because that compounded XP never reset. Unfortunately, they did end up patching this method, so that no longer works, and we're kind of just stuck with the levels that we have left over. The only XP that I use now is the gold farm. That works pretty good, and then the guardian farm also is also a good source. This is also when the zero-tick bamboo farms used to work, so that was the original plan on how I would fuel this, but the zero-tick bamboo farms got patched before the XP farms, so they patched everything. And just to show you how many potatoes I've actually smelted in here, you can see that all of these double chests, literally all of them, bro, I could literally feed everyone forever, bro. And they're just all full of potatoes. So, you know, now I just have these super big farms that, you know, have limited uses. Over here across the hall is my iron farm. This was designed by Silent Whisperer on YouTube, if you're interested. This farm has been working excellently since I built it. As you can see, still working. We got lots and lots of iron. I haven't cleared it out recently, but yeah, this iron farm has been really good. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but you know, for what I need, it's plenty. So that concludes our first floor, and now we can move up a level to our second floor. Alrighty, so on the second floor of our castle keep, we got a couple rooms dedicated to some of the pets of mine. This room was a memorial to my pet dog that I tamed on day one of this world, because he unfortunately passed away on that same day. So I decided to build him a little bit of a memorial tribute in this room right here, because he never got to see the true wonders of what would be built in the world following his passing. So that is quite upsetting. But rest in peace. We also got a couple dogs here named after some viewers in the YouTube live streams from that era, so that's pretty cool. Over here we got a little bit of a sanctuary for my pet parrot. My pet parrot's name is Cloud. He's chilling right back there, and I tamed him on like day 2 of the world, and I thought I'd build him a nice little environment to reside in rather than just sitting on my windowsill in my house. I think that will be a lot better for him. So moving on to the next set of rooms, over here is my treasury. So essentially this room is just some of my resources placed in block form. The reason for this is that, you know, I'd rather have them out so I can get a better visualization rather than just have them sitting in my ender chest and whatnot. The emeralds are mainly from the villagers. Iron is from the iron farm, obviously. That gold pile was just a little bit from the gold farm. I don't use the gold farm that much, to be honest with you, but I probably should use it a little bit more. And then the diamond pile, yeah, I mean, you know, it could be better, but it's fine. It's fine. Across the hall here, we can see that we have a wool farm for each and every color of wool. So this I built early on as well in case I wanted to construct any wool colored builds so that I wouldn't have to spend so much time farming that wool. Unfortunately, the sorting system that I built for this tends to break a lot, and I think that's just a common thing with storage systems on Bedrock, is that when you fly out of the loaded chunks of sorted systems while they're trying to sort, they tend to bug out a lot and break themselves. So that's been pretty annoying, but we are very stocked up in all of our colors of wool, so you know, any colors, we got them all. Moving on to the last two rooms on the second floor. Over here we have the cake factory. So essentially what this room houses is just each and every ingredient that you need to make a cake. So obviously we have our eggs, milk, wheat, and sugar, and then with a little crafting station in the corner. Not too crazy. Over here we have a little bit of a tribute to Minecraft's 12th birthday. I really don't know what I was doing when I was coming up with these room ideas, but I don't know, it just Minecraft's 12th birthday came up and I decided to build a nice big birthday cake, as you know, Minecraft's been quite the influential game of some people's childhoods, so you know, including mine. I thought I'd go ahead and do that, which I think was kind of cool. So on the top floor, which is the third floor, the first room here is a little bit of a bee environment. So I don't have a specific designated honey farm or bee farm or anything like that. So I decided that I'm just trying to build them their own little environment that they can, you know, cruise around in and do their flowers and whatnot, because that's what they like to do. So if I need any honeycomb or honey or whatnot, I can always get it in there. And then over here we have my new sugarcane farm. I say it's new because I used to use a zero-tick sugarcane farm early on in the game, but that got patched a little ways through, so I had to construct a little bit of more of like a old-fashioned DIY sugarcane farm. So yeah, this one's been supplying me very well. You know, I gotta keep the firework rockets all stocked up, so that's been very, very good. Pretty simple design. Over here we got my flower farm. So this is how I get all the colors for my dyes of like my concrete builds and whatnot. So you know, I designed this in a creative world myself, so it's pretty simple. And then over here we got a miniature cactus farm, where we can get some green dye if we ever need it. It is quite the slow cactus farm, but I don't use green dye like ever, so it's fine. We still have one empty room for something maybe in a future update that might be cool. So, you know, we still have room for installment of things in that room. Over here is my lava farm. So I built this when dripstone came out, and I realized that you can have infinite lava farms. So this is really meant to be able to get lots and lots of lava buckets so that I can fuel all my furnaces and super smelters and stuff like that. And essentially all this is a piston feed tape that feeds these cauldrons in a circle. And how this works is you fill your inventory up with dirt, except one slot where you have empty buckets. And then when you hold right click on the cauldrons, it'll get lava buckets and it'll spit them out of your inventory into this chest here, so that you can get lots and lots of lava and be able to fuel all your furnaces and whatnot pretty efficiently. Over here is my concrete converter. So for those of you who have seen me use this, you know that this is quite the amazing machine here that I did design myself. So basically what this machine is intended to do is that when you want to convert large amounts of concrete from concrete powder to hardened concrete, you don't have to go out in the ocean and just place them all. So basically how this works is you fill that chest up with all of your concrete, and then when you turn the lever on, it'll start dispensing the concrete into your inventory. And you can kind of go AFK on that top of that piston, looking at below the wall, and you just kind of hold the right click, and if you get it just right, it'll just keep placing blocks, and then it'll push it out into the water and get it hardened, and then it'll push it through all the piston feed tapes into a giant block of normal concrete. So that's how I've done the concrete builds that you'll see in a bit. So yeah, that's been really helpful. Moving up to the roof now, as we could see, we have this nice big illuminated roof overhang that we got going on here. That looks very nice in the night sky. On the roof, we don't have that much going on besides my little house, which might be a little interesting for some of you. So this is my house. It was meant to kind of mimic the style of my original house, just to be, you know, small and simple. And the reason for this is that I kind of wanted it to be like the original house on day one was just this tiny little puny thing that was, you know, not very protected, and now we have a similar house in this nice big fortified fortress that is safe from all of the terrors of the world. So, you know, it's kind of like the new house with with the new security. As you can see, when we step in here, we step on that pressure plate, a little bit of a basement opens up. Woo! And we could go check that out. Just got some basic stuff in the chest. Here's some of my pet cats that are chilling in the house as well. Heading down into the basement, we can see the place where all the magic happens. So this is kind of where I spend a lot of my time. This is my storage system in its totality. I know it might surprise some. It's rather small and compact. And to be honest, I kind of like it that way. Having everything so close together makes crafting really easy. I see some people's survival bases where they just have a sorting system that can sort every single item in the game. And then when they need to finally craft something, they find themselves running so far just to get a couple sticks, maybe some cobblestone, and it's just a mess. Over here on the side, we just got some of the wood from the previous build project. Here are some of the resources, the ores that I still have from when I was exploring for the ancient city. So obviously I got a little bit of diamond ore, you know, but I don't really plan to convert that, so we'll just leave that there to kind of, you know, keep it raw, keep it flexing. Here is all the loot that I got from raiding the ancient city. So obviously we've got lots of swift sneak and nice enchanted books, looking very fresh. Got 8 notch apples. We got our load of diamond horse armor, as well as leggings and hose. Plenty of hose, so you already know. And then we got obviously our skulk blocks with our catalyst and our shrieker and stuff like that. Over here we just got a couple super smelters, nothing much. Got our enchantment table. Here's some concrete for the 4000 monument. Coming soon. And yeah, over here we got some of the resources from my guardian farm. So, you know, lots of prismarine shards and crystals, as you may expect. Still haven't been creative enough to kind of think of what, like, a build that I could use those types of blocks in, but you know, at least we have them, and if we need them. Now while we're here, I think we might as well go over our tools and armor, because some people find this pretty interesting. So right here we can see the bongo bow 2.0. If you know about bongo, then you know. I went for mending on this bow, because you can either have mending or infinity on your bow, and I chose mending because I was able to get a villager that has like 1 emerald for 16 arrows, so that's why I chose that. Because if you just have infinity, then you're gonna end up spending tons and tons of levels just repairing it. Here's Darkfear's sword. I made this sword pretty early on in the game. If you don't know Darkfear, then you know, that's tough. Over here we got Lava X's pick. Yeah, normally I run a Silk Touch pickaxe as my main pickaxe. I just, you know, if I gotta break the ender chest, I kind of need that Silk Touch pickaxe, so that's why I run that mainly. And then the axe, not too much. I don't have Silk Touch on that because, you know, I don't want to be chopping trees and then have a couple leaves in my inventory that I gotta carry around. We got our Caesar shovel, pretty simple as well, no Silk Touch on that. We got our netherite boots, which are honestly pretty good. They got depth strider, feather falling. I wish I was able to put soul speed on them, but the enchantments just got too expensive. I think if I were to try and get another pair of boots, I probably could like enchant it better so I could squeeze that soul speed in there, because I do have a soul speed 3 book. So, you know, if I can get that, then I'll really have some really nice armor. I was, however, able to put Swift Sneak 3 on my leggings, which was absolutely clutch. Very clutch. Elytra, pretty simple. Helmet, absolutely goated. We got Aqua Affinity 1, Respiration 3, Thorns. Very drippy helmet. And now for a couple of resources inside the ender chest. Here is my Fortune 3 pick. King Bob's big pick. Very nice, very nice. Pretty simple, just, you know, this is when I have to convert ores to their actual form. Over here we also got a Silk Touch shovel. So normally I don't run Silk Touch, but if I need it, there it is. Netherite chest plate for when we don't want to use the elytra. Pretty strong. We got some absolutely goated shears. Yes, these enchantments are very necessary. If you don't have them, you do not have good shears. Over here we got a Silk Touch axe. So this was for the bee farm where I need to break the campfires and whatnot. This is what I use to harvest all my potatoes. So believe it or not, Fortune 3 on a tool does actually give you more potatoes when you're harvesting them from the farm. So that is why I used that. And then over here we have the Silk Touch Hoe, which was meant for getting all the skulk related blocks in the ancient city. So that pretty much covers all of our tools and armor and stuff like that. Now we can start moving on to things outside of the castle. So one quick thing over here is my little hot air balloon. This was built for the 1-year anniversary of this world. So I built this up, which I thought was kind of cool, just floating off to the side here. And now we can move on to what is behind my castle. So these few things behind my castle, as you can see this loading into the distance, we'll visit that in a bit. These things behind the castle, these are my YouTube subscriber milestone monuments. So basically I would build one of these every time I hit a new subscriber count milestone on YouTube, and I determined that when the first number of the total count of subscribers changed. So, you know, up to 1,000, that meant, you know, 300, 400, 500, all the way to 1,000, and now that's going to be every 1,000 to 10,000, which, you know, who knows if we'll hit that ever. That is going to probably be in the future. And yeah, so obviously I had fun with building some different kind of billboards, if you will, and you know, these were all of these milestones were reached throughout this survival world, so that's kind of what makes them special. And I went with a little bit of different design for all of them, kind of having a bit of fun with it, as well as with the overarching 1,000. And then these 2,000 and 3,000 are a lot more recent. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, the gap of time between 1,000 subscribers and 2,000 was like 8 months or something like that. And then the gap between 2,000 and 3,000 was like a few weeks. So we had a little bit of a you know, a good few weeks of streaming and whatnot. So yeah, here is the 2,000. This is intended to be a Steve skin, wearing some oversized 2,000 glasses to mimic people on New Year's 1999, New Year's going into 2000, the change of the what do you call it, millennium? Yeah. And then 3,000 is pretty simple, just a target, and then with the arrow hitting the bullseye of the target right in the middle of the 3,000 as well. So that's pretty fresh. And then we're gonna have our 4K monument coming soon. That's gonna be probably right behind them, which definitely look out for that. And yeah. So now we could check out this absolute monstrosity in the sky that you may be looking at. We'll come to this village, which we just finished, in a little bit. So yeah, this thing in the sky is meant to be my Japanese village project. As we can see, we have a nice big flower surrounded by these two absolutely ginormous rings, or formerly known as toruses. And we have the little, on top of the little star shape, we have a kind of a Japanese village here. So the idea behind this build is that these rings were kind of, you know, meant to encapsulate and protect this sacred village or biome, as it is the only one of its kind. So in the center here, we've got our giant Japanese pagoda building, which is kind of the center and heart of the village, which is pretty cool. I'm really happy about how the design came out. I don't know, it just seems so much nicer that everything's finished. Obviously, we've got a lot of Japanese style buildings around the side, as well as our cherry blossom trees, which were an absolute pain to build. Do not recommend it. Stay away from them. Some of these houses or these buildings have interiors, some of them don't. So for example, this one does have a little bit of interior, nothing too much. You can see me trying to get bougie with my wall texturing and whatnot. I'm trying, you know, a little here and there. Got a little bit of a koi pond going on. Over here we have a bit of a dragon statue, which looks pretty schmexy. I really like how that came out. It is on a little bit of a stone foundation as well. And really, this whole Japanese village came together a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, obviously, this kind of whole thing was kind of a challenge for me to try and piece everything together, but it ended up coming out very well. And lastly, we got our dragon flying over the village. I thought that this was a nice touch. The dragon was extremely challenging for me because, you know, I mainly build in like geometric shapes, not too much organic stuff going on with my, you know, building and whatnot. So I looked up some videos to teach me some techniques on building dragons, so I was able to construct that, and I'm really happy with it. For those of you who might also be wondering if this world has ever been in creative or any nonsense like that, this world has never been in creative, and I have never cheated in this world. I've been playing this world for over a year and a half now, so, you know, with a little by little, you know, you can really make some nice things happen. And to be honest, I've just been playing Minecraft for so long to still be cheating, and, you know, I build my things in survival because I feel like it, you know, it feels better, man, just to make big projects in survival. I'm not that big of a creative person, really, anyways, so, yeah. So, we're gonna go over now the most recent project that I've completed, which is this little village right off the side of my castle. So when I built the castle, I always thought that it would have like a village next to it. I just thought that kind of made sense, so we finally did end up building this. For those of you who might have been around for the TikTok live streams, I went on a streaming streak of 19 days in a row, every single day, streaming for about 3 to 5 hours, so that was a little bit interesting before I started school. So that is when this village came about. All of these houses have interiors, some have chimneys as well, and to be honest, the finished product of this, like when I was building it, I was just like go 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 kind of stuff, and now that it's all fully finished, I don't know, dude, just walking around here looks so nice. I can't believe that I built this, because this does not seem in the range of something that I would be able to come up with. But I don't know, it's just like when you build a little bit of each aspect at a time and don't like do it all at once, it just all pieces together so well. You know, I mean, look at this house, man. This house is heat. Some of these houses also got named after people in the TikTok live streams or whatever, but you know, that's that. And then out here we also have a little bit of a market area. Oh yeah, one more thing, I forgot to say that this whole village is kind of inhabited by frogs now. We have one body of water in this village that is a pond towards the back, where all the frogs come into life, and they inhabit the village and, you know, live their life being frogs. We also got some animals named after people. We also got this big tree right here, which, you know, probably has some, you know, Christmas time decorating potential. You never know, you never know. So, yeah, this is the village in its simplicity. And now we can move on to looking at some of the farms. Real quick before we go on to the farms, I'd like to touch base on the new project that we've just started. This project right over here, kind of off to the side from the Japanese village and the village. This is going to be my new build project. So what I'm going to be doing here, for those of you who have played the video game Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii, I'm going to be building the intro scene where Peach's castle is getting absolutely stolen and jacked out of the ground by Bowser and his, you know, little accomplices with the pirate ships in the sky. I will play a little bit of a clip for you guys right about now, just so that you can kind of understand what I am talking about if you haven't played it. So that was the scene that I'm going to be basing my new project off of. I think it's a pretty cool scene that I'm going to be doing. I don't know, I just remember always as a kid starting up the game and watching that, because I never really got far in the game. so I think I ended up starting over a bunch of times. But yeah, I always remember that intro bit, and it was always super cool to me. So I'm gonna be trying to build that in Minecraft. Anyways, here is my creeper farm for those of you that are interested in how I get my gunpowder and things. It is just off the shore of my castle, and we built it above the ocean so that it can have better spawn rates, whatnot like that. The design is by JC Plays on YouTube if you guys are interested. And yeah, we can see my gold farm in the distance. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on how that works and whatnot, but basically, if you want to know gold farm designs, you could just type in Minecraft Bedrock gold farm, and you'll find many similar designs that I'll use, like a big portal that, you know, when you turn it on, it turns the portal on and off repeatedly very fast, and it spawns a bunch of pigmen, you know, stuff like that. So now we're going to go ahead and travel to our guardian farm. As we can see, the nether is very uncivilized. We do have like one ice tunnel, which is to go to the end portal, which also happens to be where the guardian farm is at. So, you know, I wish, you know, I probably should build more ice tunnels to the other things that I might need, but yeah, we only got one now, so we're gonna go check out our guardian farm. Haven't been here too much besides, you know, overnight farming, but you know, it is what it is. We got plenty of resources. So as you can see, we this nether portal was originally built to be right by the end portal. So now if we just go up here, we can see that right above the little place where I was is my guardian farm. So basically how this works, there is an Oshi monument below this, and you kind of just using the spawn spots given by certain measurements in the YouTube video tutorial, you can go ahead and farm a bunch of guardians and have a fully AFK design where they all get funneled into a trident killer and you know, do their thing. So yeah, alrighty, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for my world tour of my world so far. Thank you to anyone and everyone who made it here to the end. Make sure you guys please leave a like on this video, subscribe, leave a comment telling me what you thought about certain things, and any questions you might have still. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Whee!